Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Utility Sports. Today, we're going to be taking a specific look at the Las Vegas Raiders, their quarterback situation, and what it's going to mean for backup quarterback Marcus Mariota there in Las Vegas. But before we jump into today's video, I'm just going to remind you guys that we do have a jersey giveaway here on the channel. Make sure for all of our NFL content that you are leaving a comment and that you are subscribed to the channel to be entered into the giveaway here. The more comments, the better. You have a better chance of winning than if you have more comments. It'll be chosen randomly, of course. And now the big thing here with the Las Vegas Raiders is Marcus Mariota. They brought him in last year on a 2-year deal worth about $20 million. He's owed about $10.5 million this year. And he had one appearance for the Las Vegas Raiders this past year. Didn't start that game, came in as an injury replacement for Derek Carr against the Los Angeles Chargers. And while I was watching that game, he looked very good, actually. He was able to maneuver the pocket. He got out and was able to move with his legs, was able to deliver throws on the move accurately, on time, and on target, and honestly played at a pretty high level for coming in, not having played all year, coming in as a backup, didn't even have time to prep as a starter that week, still came in, kept the Raiders in that game. They ultimately did lose. However, he did look very good in that matchup against Justin Herbert, and it was a pretty good quarterback duel, actually, even with Derek Carr out. Derek Carr likely is going to be back, according to Ian Rappaport, as the Raiders starting quarterback for 2021. That's what I've been saying here on the channel, is it just doesn't make sense for the Raiders to move on from him. It's hard to upgrade over that level of quarterback play, right where he's right in the mid-level. I think he's about an average starting quarterback in the NFL, which is really good, actually. I think average is a good place to be. In a lot of situations, it's hard to get up into that upper echelon. And moving on from Derek Carr, unless it's a deal for a guy like Deshaun Watson, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, in my opinion. So they're going to be holding on to Derek Carr, in my opinion. And Marcus Mariota is going to be the guy that they use for trade bait. Now, first of all, what is it going to take to get Marcus Mariota on the trade block? I think it's going to take maybe a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick with another day 3 pick as well, maybe a 4th and a 5th or a 4th and a 6th. I think that's kind of what his value's at, especially after seeing Carson Wentz get traded for a 2nd and a 3rd. I think Mariota as a backup coming in doesn't have quite that value. I think he's looking more at a 3rd-round pick, maybe 3rd and a day 3 pick as well. That could be something like a 3rd and a 7. And the nice thing for him is he is under contract under a very cheap deal for $10.5 million this year. So, but it's also a prove-it deal. He's not under long-term extension. That's why a team would be less willing to give up more assets on a guy who, they'd either have to franchise tag or really, pay out in a big-time contract if he does play well as their starter. Now, who are some teams that are going to be interested possibly in Marcus Mariota? I narrowed the list down to 5 teams that are probably talking to the Las Vegas Raiders about Marcus Mariota. One of those is the Denver Broncos. I know that they are in on Deshaun Watson. They want to make a move for Watson. However, I don't know if Watson for sure gets moved this offseason, and I don't think that they necessarily have the assets to catch up to a team like the Miami Dolphins or the New York Jets in a deal for Watson. So I think that the Broncos are going to keep their options open. They're going to be looking at Marcus Mariota. I don't know if new management, new general manager there replacing John Elway is sold on Drew Lock. He didn't really take a step forward in year 2. I know that they had some injuries. Cortland Sutton was out. Jerry Jeudy as a rookie, wasn't healthy all the time. And he's still growing as a wide receiver a little bit too. I think he's going to be a great wideout. But I think Marcus Mariota could be a guy that they look at as an upgrade over Drew Lock. The New England Patriots are in my second team on the list that I have. These aren't in necessarily any order, but the Patriots are a team I think that would be interested in Marcus Mariota. It just doesn't sound like Cam Newton's going to be a New England Patriot next year. I think that they're going to try and figure out that situation. I think Mariota on that 1-year deal does make sense for them, especially if they do look to draft a QB. They could develop him for a year, have Mariota help him through some of those growing pains. Maybe Mariota works out long-term too. There's a good high reward chance here with low risk for a team trading for Marcus Mariota, and I think the Patriots would be a team interested in possibly swinging a move for him. Now, remember, while we're talking about Marcus Mariota, I said high reward, low risk move here, and I know some of you guys think, well, he's terrible. He got benched by the Tennessee Titans for Ryan Tannehill. He's not a good NFL quarterback. Here are some of his numbers. He has a career record of 29-32 as a starter, and that includes 3 winning seasons. And remember, his rookie year, he came onto a terrible Titans team. They, I think, went 2-10 with him starting. So that is a big contribution of his win-loss record right there is his rookie year, which isn't really indicative of what he is as a quarterback. In his career, he has 77 passing touchdowns, only 45 interceptions. That compares very favorably to another quarterback on the trade market. That is Sam Darnold, who has a career record of 13-25 as a starter, and he has 45 touchdowns, 39 interceptions, almost a 1-to-1 ratio here. Mariota almost has a 2-to-1 ratio, much better situation, and he does have 12 rushing touchdowns in his career. He's a much more mobile QB than Darnold, in my opinion. He's a guy who's more comfortable throwing on the move than Sam Darnold. I think that Mariota should be looked at about in the same class as Sam Darnold. Darnold obviously is younger than Marcus Mariota. That's why I think that they're should be looked at pretty comparably in terms of what you're getting at that quarterback position, but Darnold is worth a little bit more because of his age. However, that's why I think it's a nice low risk, high reward option on Marcus Mariota. Now, team 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's rumors there that Art Rooney does not want Ben Roethlisberger back at that $41 million mark. I understand why that is a lot of money to pay for a starting quarterback in the NFL, especially when it's not a top 5 guy. And the Steelers could look at maybe Mariota being that bridge guy for a little bit, or possibly taking the reins from Ben Roethlisberger as their long-term guy, maybe 4 or 5 years, gives them some time to really figure out that roster, figure out what they're going to do moving forward. My 4th team is the Chicago Bears. They are the most QB-needy team on this list, in my opinion. They need to really figure out what they've got going on. It's probably likely that Allen Robinson is not back next year. Mitch Trubisky is not going to be back next year. I don't know if Nick Foles is going to be back. His contract is pretty nice, though. He's probably going to be around. But I think Marcus Mariota is a guy that they could take that low risk, high reward, move on, and try and make him the starter, see if he fits into Nagy's offense there in Chicago. Do I find it necessarily likely that he is the Chicago Bear? No, I think that they might hold out for Sam Darnold, but I think that Mariota is a guy to monitor for them. And finally, the last team in this discussion for me here is the Washington football team. They are a QB-needy team. I know Taylor Heineke looked good in their playoff game. Alex Smith was all right during the season. However, I don't think either of those two guys are serious long-term options for Washington. I think that they're going to be monitoring the trade market. I think that there'll be a team very interested in Sam Darnold as well. However, I think Marcus Mariota, the fact that they could probably get him for cheaper, he's also got that pedigree, former number 2 overall pick. I know he didn't work out in Tennessee, but he has that market to him. He has that notoriety to him. He has the name. Maybe he could come into Washington, work out as their franchise QB, at least for a little bit, act as a bridge guy while they need one, and give them some options at that quarterback position. I think those are the 5 teams that really stuck out to me. Let me know in the comments below if there's any specific quarterback I'm missing or any team that I'm missing that could really use Marcus Mariota. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button. We appreciate it so much. Also, don't forget to comment on today's video and be subscribed for that jersey giveaway. It is a Trevor Lawrence Jacksonville Jaguars jersey. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, we'll catch you guys in the next one.